first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Last week in a bit told you I say papa your friend say atuasian akwa kodi o man sika. In fact atuasian there ye no man kan atuasian no case anti e ba say ya jeli no Fabian na ye mu bi wo wa na ye ni agikakra because of one or two reasons, not because of any political or whatever interest, but at least I will say aban no man who say Ghana ye tax na yitua no nipa bi ntimi mfendi sa akwa whereby evidence near so clear obi ntimi nkodi 970 billion na untimi nka say mo nkodem no da so na mo it doesn't feel right. So ya jeli atuisi na wi wakwa kodem samle ka say wodem and so one for no adwuma kama na discussions about over the weeks, over the days say and then the board chairman for a capital bank papa a friend say Nsem-Pii, Pastor Nsem-Pii, let me state that very very good man man for abusa say and then Pastor Nsem-Pii young prosecuting and then what 2 frees and money man other host of things. And then you who say sa papa a friend say Otabil yakosi no siwu tiwi and the oma you who is asem here some friend Joseph Otabil mo am name Joseph Otabil no on an court respondent edema some coach some for Juma and I say multimedia mo okosi say na Otabil ba na Otabil court and or the information abre pa him say papa a friend say Nsem-Pii ejina court based on and answer ewo capital bank sika sem nya time on the rate or the to nya time kind na wo hu say am Ghana for which bebrebe say Otabil yenkosi no sa back door no ampampa yakosi Otabil they will shock you Pastor Nsem-Pii. Now Osha was say following the sentencing of the founder of the fund bank Capital Bank William Atuasian by an Accra High Court, some have asked why other key decision makers in the bank were not equally prosecuted. The name of the board chairman, Dr. Pastor Nsem-Pii, who heads the International Central Gospel Church, has come up strongly. So Otabil them say if he says yede Atuasian kotum Ghana fu bebre abusa board chairman Otabil ye any day board chairman Otabil ye any day. It is however worth noting that despite not having criminal charges filed against him, Dr. Otabil and 14 others have since 2019 been the subject of a civil action initiated by the receiver of the defunct bank. Otabil chirema Tama Capital Bank eguyen Tama aban na adwin se obeje Capital Bank license efini nsema ye ema bank ni guyen oko financial loss man say financial practice man sa aban gu banga or the bank ne ne ma ne hu sikasem ne that ekoma obi a ye no the receiver enti mo be kan no Unibank Dr. Dufo bank na eguye no sisi aye kase aban dane bank no de aman KPMG nipa ba kwa forgotten of man ni di ontina tama Dufo any Bank of Ghana o masem na o court no edu se Bank of Ghana ebe prove your court echrem ze Dufo diska essay bank no ntina o se agene lines in front nsem no Bank of Ghana kofa sa KPMG nipa na sisi okra Unibank ho krata na the receiver no kofa na ba o media dance entia Dufo ene Dufo lawyers atwi ko PM Supreme Court say mpene say obi a egu bank ne de bank no krata asem ne bibia be share obedi dance e de atia Dufo ene Supreme Court so there bi the owadwe mu fine no onsuro no accusation this o susu say why neighbor ni Unibank ya ma de bank Unibank ho nsem na kwhye ne nsan the receiver no omra no bedi dance o wi no odi dance na say o problem won ho na wo so we defend them. Now some na nasi now tama aban gu Capital Bank no odi ne ho asset nyina kwakoma the Ghana Commercial Bank. The Ghana Commercial Bank are appointing nipa bi o bank one ma. Ono na sesi a Capital Bank hu ne manema nyina ekura no. Now, nipa na oji Capital Bank hu ne ma no. Eno hwehwehwe enkratem eno waposiw Dr. Nsem-Pii any nipa mako 14 eka no. And we see omo in the year 2019. Didn't wako see omo no. I think you better so much into the matters. Until I could see Dr. Nsem-Pii any nipa mako 19. Now, nipa 14 na yes you omo kan Otabil on. One William Atuasian na yatena to me yasasi uni bi. Or anybody was say to yes you no. Steven Enchel yes you no. Kinsilu Attack Gansa yes you no. Otabil and Associate. Yes, you Otabil and Associate. Yes, you Yes, you International Central Gospel Church. Otabil are sorry no. Yes, you are sorry no. And yes, you Otabil no. Kojo AEC Ahring. Yes, you know. Isaac Osa Thompson Mensa. Yes, you know. John Kofi Mensa. Yes, you know. Omunina no more the shareholders of the bank. Omunina no more the shareholders of the bank. Yes, you know. I feel to say Fitzgerald Odonko onosi yesiuno Amadou Montia yesiuno Kofi Kwakwa yesiuno Francis Edumante yesiwo musa ni performer bomudin omo no me the directors of the bank and omo ma bobo bomudin earlier no mo ye the shareholders of the bank eni akosi omo di enti na yesiwo mo so her nipa na okosiu Otabil mu no and reasons or this him was say the receiver or the plaintiff or the petitioner is seeking to recover more than 800 million cedis from these individuals. For instance, the High Court is being asked to recover 468 million cedis being shareholders loan and 108 million cedis being facilities granted to Atuasian and his related companies which remain outstanding. The court has also been asked to allow a recovery of 51 million cedis from ICGC. Young concept. Nipa na okosiu Otabil ni nipa 14 no. Or say court no over more than 800 million Ghana cedis. Embreno, you can't 800 million Ghana cedis. Let's say close to what almost 80 trillion. And 170 you can 170. Any kind of say omo amebo mudi no omo shareholders no Atuasian or any boss akutu Steven Enchel Kinsley Tagansa Otabil and Associate ICGC Kojo Asia Isaac Mensa Thompson ne ho Kofi Mensa or say court no NJ sika pudo 468 million in free omo shareholders in Nsem on Jesus can in free Chima shareholders net discount 468 million Ghana cedis, which is 4.6 trillion and coins. Yenji says can in free omho. You know free ma obi to say Atuasian. Atuasian apart from the way the CEO man Capital Bank no. Now Atuasian sa o companies bi o one or the companies needing a Giska. Na iska Atuasian GN 108 million Ghana cedis. 108 million Ghana cedis. And so the court can see can never be brebe. Inti Atuasian Hong Kong court ninja 108 million Ghana cedis and famano. We are Capital Bank 108 million Ghana cedis inti enje mano. We are also court we are Nsem-Pii. So for Dr. Nsem-Pii, na sorry no. Once na sorry yesiu na sorry. Watch the man na sorry Nsem-Pii sorry no. Court range 51 million Ghana cedis and a man of 510 billion. And a court engine free. Nsem-Pii sorry ICGC. For 510 billion. That means according to Nipano, what you say in Krate Mono, what who say Skabisa a call Nsem-Pii sorry no into a court and a court range. Non-recovered size can amount 51 million Ghana cedi, 510 billion. Cotton engine free Otabil sorry ho enfamano. Owe or the allegations of fraud to yen kind or say The receiver argues in court document that directors of the defunct bank approved loans and placement of funds to themselves and related parties without the requisite collaterals and in clear breach of the company's internal policies, relevant banking regulations, and the Ghanaian company law. The directors are alleged to have supervised the disbursement of liquidity support 620 million Ghana cedis granted by the Government of Ghana in breach of banking regulations and guidelines issued by the central bank. At the board meeting in October 2015, management of the company expressed displeasure, particularly about the transfer of 130 million cedis to all-time capital out to all-time capital out of this liquidity support. Senior management members indicated the said transfer will not be approved. Or them say any kind. Directors are no muda defunct bank na no. Omuji loan omu. Directors are to waste money. They omuji loan de ma omu obeko kratem na at waste na ji loan e de amo ono ano na directors are bo mu no so agi loan de amo omu which wa bra no collateral. Okoji loan or bank a collateral no obefen kratem na atuesien no agi loan ama no obefen body dey na very collateral ebi ne o omuji loan momo without any collateral and a Bank of Ghana ma bank no 620 million Ghana cedis so omfan support bank no which is almost 6.2 trillion say omfan support omo no and also omanye and omuko and omukodi scan H4. Now, Dr. Nsem-Pii, who was chairman of the board, is said to have assured management that he will personally ensure that the funds were paid back in March 31st, 2016. This amount, according to the receiver, still remains outstanding. Until call meeting in the year 2015, and board near Omadwin said, yen transfer 130 million cedis B. And Franco Coco baby, and a senior management board members or more meeting as yes, or more premier transfer can. And Dr. Nsem-Pii, or a board chairman, can meeting as say board members and only management name premier transfer can. No Nsem-Pii ever make sure say by 31st March 2016, dear, Nasa scan ye tia. Scanner, ya approve my or management name pencil. Emma yen transfer can ko baby a pese transfer con. No Otabil be make sure say by 31st March 2016 the na says can ye transfer ye tua. Up to now says can Otabil and make sure say ye tua says can. The receiver then levels the accusation of fraud against directors and shareholders. He points out that they approved the purchase of commercial paper from related companies without recourse to regulations. A commercial paper is an unsecured short-term debt instrument issued by corporations to finance liability. Such instruments, the receiver says, were in fact, and to the knowledge of the directors, not fit to be described as a commercial paper, just a scheme to siphon money from the bank into maybe a friend of commercial paper. And a commercial paper near unsecured short-term debt instrument. Now, on my issue, we had debt. But then the check there was no debt in the bank. And commercial bank receiver, no, they are born, say, Otabil engaged in fraud. Into court, no, and this says can inform. Now, we will as a case in court 2019. Akwaku say. Now, the case has not seen much progress due to various legal steps, particularly taken by ACN NMS, and he got the court to allow him to challenge the revocation of the bank's license by the Bank of Ghana. The High Court case remained on hold as the debate on this continued at the High Court and later at the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal has since ruled in favor of ACN as happened at the High Court, allowing him to challenge the Bank of Ghana actions in the suit. The court has meanwhile set November 21st to hear legal arguments on whether the receivers has the capacity to sustain legal actions since the asset of the bank now belongs to the commercial bank. In Tinyamiadma, 21st November, and a court in Iron so Obetnase. Call right now, no company negu ama abide in a hunyama commercial bank. Ana director na ya born so tumbo say o yes can the director no so no ya prosecute no for 15 years. And see, I was a court no tenasi bi. near ye at we and charges near the film. Now, men's Otabil money ICGC no. Ya share or Nsem-Pii. So it's for men's Otabil, yes, soon will court, Benyene, that is 2019, as some that's all quarter. Nyame adoma November 21st year, and I have a quasem. So, indeed, yenya OBM, ICGC for the gem, another host of people. You have see a budget 510 billion every ICGC for T. Yeah, 21st November, the BC court behind the